Hey, good evening. Thank y'all for coming out to our first annual. I'm planning on having these type of meetings every year. And so I just thank you for coming out. And before we get started, I just want to say that we want to pay an honor to someone that passed away that was so near and dear to our education system. We've already lost an icon in our community in Georgia Blackman. And just recently, a lady that I've known, her and her husband for many, many years, who were very active in the community, was an educator, an administrator, fought extremely hard for Lincoln Park Elementary, Miss Carol McIntosh. We lost her unexpectedly this past week. Advocate for educating youth in Escambia County, and she's going to be dearly missed. And in honor of her, I would like at this moment, if we would, to have a moment of silence in remembrance of Miss Carol McIntosh. If everyone please stand. And we will honor her with a moment of silence in respect of Carol McIntosh, an outstanding educator in the Escambia County school system. Thank you. So it behooves us to carry on the legacy of what she started, especially for those students in the Lincoln Park area, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that her work is not in vain. Before we get started, I just want to make a couple of announcements. I want to thank Pensacola High School for allowing me to come home and then to come back and to have the first annual, sort of like a town hall meeting here at Pensacola High School. I want to thank Principal Miller, Assistant Principal Roby, Assistant Principal Canales, and also the IT specialist, Jackson Hatch, and also SRO, Ms. Sharessa Green. We really appreciate the hospitality. Thank y'all for allowing me to do this. Also to WRNE Radio and the leadership of the director, Mr. Robert Hill, who has announced the meeting over his radio station, and I was on his station this morning, and also last Monday as well. So I want to thank WRNE, want to thank WBQP-TV for advertising this live, or broadcasting this live. He's also going to tape it and run it back for others who may have not been able to make it to be here tonight. So I want to thank Mr. Vernon Watson and Mr. Troy Mims. Thank you very much for broadcasting this live. And so my constituents and all of those in District 3 will know the things that are going on in our district. I want to thank our interim superintendent, Mr. Keith Lennon, and his staff for assisting in getting the word out by using the school messenger program. We had some thousand of confirmed answered messages, and we were hoping for a great turnout, but nevertheless, I want to thank the school system for allowing me to do that as well. And thank to all of you who took the time to come out, because you are concerned for our students. You come out tonight because you care, and you want to know what we're doing and how we can do it better. We have some challenges, and we have some things that we need to work on, and we will address those tonight. But at this time, I would want to give way to Superintendent Keith Leonard for him to come and say a few remarks to you, then we'll go on with the program.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I think we do have a great turnout. All of you that are here are great people. I especially want to say thank you to our administrators that are present this evening. I can only imagine, Mr. Roby, I imagine you had a pretty busy day today. Thank you for the facility use. Thank you to Pensacola High School. Thank you to Jackson for getting everything set up. So as we begin, or not begin, but as we have the conversation tonight about the state of District 3, let me tell you, I've been very, very impressed with Mr. Williams. He's got a pinpoint vision. He is sincere in what he talks about being able to accomplish for our schools in District 3. There's never been a doubt in my mind about what his intent is, and that intent is to take care of what he did for over 38 years and that being the students of our Escambia County School District. I want you to know that if you ever need anything from the superintendent's office, don't ever hesitate to reach out. If you have questions and I don't know the answers to those questions, I'll do the very best to get those answers for you and get them for you quickly. But tonight we're going to have an opportunity to talk about our District 3 schools. We're looking forward to this opportunity. And Mr. Williams, thank you for setting up this town hall. Thank you, sir.
Hope all of you had received the handout. We have it up on the screen, the itinerary, but you might not be able to see it. But we're going to talk about information with District 3. You should have received a list of the schools and principals. We're going to talk about the geographical location and the demographics of District 3, the academic updates. We're going to have some highlights and some concerns. Then we have a plan of action, and at the end, you'll be able to ask some questions of myself and also of Superintendent Leonard. But I just want to give you an update about David Williams, what I've been doing. I've tried to immerse myself in the community and also in this job and in this position, learn as much as I can as possible. Some of you may not know me. I've been around the school system practically all of my life, and all of my career was right here at Pensacola High School, everything from math teacher to basketball coach, dean, assistant principal, and principal, and now school board representative for District 3. But I didn't think that was enough. I wanted to make sure that I got involved in several things in the community where I can bring more resources and attack the problems, because I always tell people that we only have the students 6 or 7 hours a day. But it behooves us that we've got to be able to have the community input, community buy-in. We can't do it by ourselves. We need your help. And so therefore, that's why I was glad to be a part of Sheriff Simmons' Stop the Violence Committee, been a part of that. I'm now on the Children Trust Fund, where a lot of the programs that have received the grant money from the Children Trust Fund are located. Their programs are located in District 3, so I'm going to make sure that we get those resources to those that need it. I'm part of the Community Action Program, been selected for on the board of directors for the Florida School Board Association for the entire state of Florida, representing Escambia County. Been working with UWF on financial literacy, also on UWF with the Leadership Advisory Council. I'm on the board of directors with the YMCA. YMCA is now and you hear a little bit more about this, the Y-Read programs that we've been able to put in 3 or 4, not middle schools, but elementary schools in District 3 as well. I'm on the board of directors of a mentoring program with the Lamplighters, on the board of directors for FCA, and also part of the East Side neighborhood community. So try to get involved with the community, because I know that we cannot do it by ourselves. We have to have community help, and we have a lot of community issues that are happening in the community that flows over onto our campus. So it behooves us that we're able to bring those resources and those people in to help us with our students. Some of the initiatives that I'm going to try to make and have been trying to make, one is big and near to my heart, is conflict resolution. I feel like we need to make sure that our students know how to handle conflict resolutions. There are some programs out there that we've been trying to get instilled into the Escambia County school system where kids can handle conflict, and therefore that we can also curtail some of the different problems that we might encounter and might have. So we're still working on conflict resolution. Literacy programs, I'm big on that, trying to get literacy programs in elementary schools. One of the initiatives I'm really proud of, that in the month of February, that we have a Black History program where we're honoring some of our past African-American employees in the school system, and also, as I said, financial literacy by way of the UWF, that the connections we have there. Our goals for District 3, of course, is safe schools. That's the most important thing that we can possibly do. We've had to make sure that our students are safe. Just recently, the school board passed, we approved of the purchasing of a device that can detect weapons and also vaping devices when if a student is to bring them anything like that on campus. So I appreciate Superintendent Lennon and his staff and the security staff of the Escambia County school system for coming up with this and researching that where we can keep our schools safe. Also, one of the goals that we also have is that we want to make sure that our students are college and career ready. I've been working with the several chamber of commerce in town to see what career academies are out there that students would be interested in. So we're trying to bring more career academies. We want to continue to close the achievement gap. Still would, and Superintendent Leonard knows this, and still would love to have a middle school in District 3. Somehow we do have a middle school with Brown Barge, but you have to apply to go to Brown Barge. It's not necessarily a district middle school. And then also we want to increase mentors and volunteers in community and parental involvement. Those are very crucial. They're crucial to our success in the school system. You had a handout, excuse me, and in that handout you have certain things in there. One, you have a list of the district schools and the principals and the contact information in there as well. And I think we might have it on the PowerPoint. Yes, and you can't see it, but there's a list of all of the principals and schools. Right now we have 11 schools. I have 12 listed because Camelot Achieve Academy was in my district, but they've moved to the old Pleasant Grove Elementary School. But right now I'm still claiming Achieve Academy as one of my schools. So we have 11 schools in my district, and we have one preparatory school in Jacqueline Harris as well. That's in my district as well. Geographically, District 3 runs as far north as 9 Mile Road, as far south as Intendencia, and then to the east, as far east as some parts of 9th and 12th Avenue. It's not a perfect rectangle, and as far west as Michigan Avenue. And so we kind of District 3 runs probably right through the middle of the city of Pensacola and also through the county of Pensacola. Some of the demographics that we look at for District 3, also I believe I have given you a copy of the attendance of the attendance compared for a couple of years, and the attendance is really going up, and really proud of our principals for making sure our students get to school. That you can see the comparison in there of the attendance of each one of the schools in District 3 for the year 2022 to 2023 as well. So you can see the attendance in there where they're working extremely hard, making sure our students come to school as well. Another thing that I'd like for you to know that we are trying to do that it's a challenge for District 3, and I work closely with Commissioner Lumen May, is that in our Escambia County, we have 9 what they call CR areas, and what those are the community revitalization areas. 5 of those areas are located in District 3. And when speaking with Commissioner May, most cities only have 3 or 4 CR areas. We have 9 in our county, and 5 of them are located in District 3. So we fight the revitalization of community involvement, and Commissioner May has been trying to put a lot of money. We've been working with him as well on some projects, affordable housing, because it goes beyond what I can just do at a school board meeting. And I care about the whole person, I care about the whole family, and we got to do some things to make sure our students are ready when they come to school and being able to have the resources that they need. But we need to make sure they have a healthy living area as well. So that is one of the demographics that stood out to me in District 3. Also, I believe I've given you a handout, and it's in color. You can see the colors of green, red, and yellow in that, and those are subgroups, and this is the ESSA, Every Child Succeed Act. Under ESSA, there are subgroups that is mandated by the state that we make sure that we service those subgroups, and there's a federal index that each one of those subgroups have to match, have to meet. Green mean that you did pretty good. And then if the other ones are not as, the yellow and the red mean that there's a concern, and I believe I might have given you also in there the ledger explaining what those colors mean. But we have those those ESSA, every Student Succeed Act, which was initiated in 2018 and replaced the No Child Left Behind and other acts that we had, one act that's been around since 1965, so it's been updated. And this is how schools are graded and how they're placed in categories. And the categories, if you see right by the list of the schools, like Brown Bars NA, they didn't receive a ESSA category because they didn't fall into it. But if you drop down to Brentwood and you see ATSI, and that's where they are put in. Each school is put into a category. ATSI is an additional target support and instruction. We have 3 of those schools in District 3, and what that means is that the schools that they are not identified as a CSI, and that's another acronym, CSI, and I'll explain TSI as well. Schools that are not identified as CSI and TSI but has one or more subgroups with a federal index below 41. So that school, Brentwood is, and you can see that Brentwood, Lincoln Park, and Wise are listed as ATSI by the state, and that's because of the scoring of the subgroups that in there. And then the subgroups, when you go across the top, the subgroups are economically disadvantaged, ELL, English language learners, and then SWA is students with disabilities, blacks, Hispanics, multiracial, and white. Each one of those are subgroups that receive a rating by the state according to their federal index and how they score. And so the next category was a CS&I, and I think we have 6 schools in District 3 that's labeled as CS&I. And a school can be labeled as CS&I in 4 different ways. They can have an overall federal index below 41, have a graduation rate at or below 67%, have a school grade of D on F, have a federal index below 41%, and the same subgroup for 6 consecutive years. So CS&I, we have several of those schools, and those are the ones that we're very concerned about because they can go to what's called a DA, if I'm not mistaken, differential accountability. And that's where you get into the Warrenton Middle School situation. We don't want that to happen. And that's one of the reasons I want to have this meeting, because I really want the public to know where we're at. I want the people in District 3 to know where we're at and what we're up against. But we're not just going to throw you the statistics and not tell you how we're going to get out of them. And the other category, I think, was TSI, and I think we have one school in that, and that's a school that's not identified as CSI that has at least one consistently underperforming subgroup with a federal index below 32%. And we have one, I believe, TSI, and that's Pensacola High School. So that's how, those are concerns. Those are the statistics. And we're hoping that we don't have any schools move into a DA position where we have to encounter the same situation of what happened with Warrenton Middle School. How the schools are going to receive their grades this year is different. There's no learning gains this year. In the elementary school, I believe they only have 3 things they're going to be graded on. There's ELA, English language arts achievement, math achievement, and also science achievement. There are no learning gains. Middle school is going to be the same thing, ELA achievement, excuse me, math achievement, science achievement, no learning gains will be calculated. For the high schools, it would be math achievement, science achievement, social studies achievement, graduation rate, college and career acceleration, no learning gains. Well, so those are how the schools are going to be graded this upcoming year. We're hoping for the best. I've been keeping an eye on a lot of the progress monitoring of which each one of the schools in District 3, and I must say that the principals and students and teachers are working extremely hard. I've visited several campuses, and there's hardly nobody that's not giving it their all. So it's real complimentary to the teachers and to the administrators and to the students of working extremely hard and trying to turn things around. We have several highlights, and I think I'll give you that handout as well of each one of the schools of what they're doing. If you look at the school highlights, and they're doing a lot of things. I've listed each one of the schools in District 3, and they have some, some of them had so many I couldn't list them all, but they are working extremely, extremely hard. The highlights, and there's a couple of them listed. I asked them for their needs. If you look at the needs of those schools as well, many of them need mentors. Many of them need volunteers. So that's why when you signed in and had you check either whether you'd like to volunteer or be a mentor, and I can get someone to contact you to if you would like to mentor or to be a volunteer in one of the schools in District 3. Also gave you a list of, I believe, major constructions projects. One of the major construction projects are right here at Pensacola High School, and culminates with a lot of other things. If you came through the front building, you can look down the hallway and realize they're working extremely hard. Something that we've been trying to get here for many, many years at Pensacola High School. I've been working with and communicating with Sean Dennis, assistant superintendent of operations. He knows the needs of our facilities in District 3. We have a lot of schools that are aging, that are old. And I'm going to get with the principals in District 3 to see what their needs are and try to put a little pressure on them to do that. But it all comes from sales tax. You can look at that printout. It comes from some ESSA funds. If I'm not mistaken, that's hurricane relief funds, the ESSA funds, and then also the sales tax. That's where a lot of the projects get paid out of. And there's more to come. But those are the ones that I want to list and share with you. Our plan of action. Well, let me back up. Our concerns for District 3. The concerns for District 3, one is low enrollment. And we have some schools that are not meeting their projected enrollment. Whenever that happens, you have to cut personnel or let personnel go. It reduced the funding to that school. One such place, and not to just singing them out, but I'm very concerned about it, is Lincoln Park. And the survey says that there are enough students in Lincoln Park area to support the projected number of students that Lincoln Park can hold, but those students are not necessarily going to Lincoln Park. So that is a concern of ours. Another one, concern of ours, that we want to avoid another DA school. We don't want to go through that, and definitely do not want to go through that in District 3. And then also, we always want to close the achievement gap. We always want to work on closing the achievement gap. So what is our plan of action? We presented enough problems to you, so now we need to see how we can solve the problems. And we have a plan of action. Every school has a school improvement plan, and they look at their data, and they come up with a plan for the school year. You mesh that with what we're trying to do at the county, and with the strategic plan of the superintendent, and you come up with a plan of action. First and foremost, of course, is safety. We want to make sure we're safe. One of the things that when I surveyed and talked to parents of why you don't want to come to a public school or don't want to come to whatever school, one of the first things they say is safety. So one of the initiatives that our county is doing is making sure that our campuses are safe. We have a great system in place. I get the information and get the alerts as well as you, and we do everything we can to keep each one of our facilities safe. College and career readiness, that is an initiative that we have. I'm looking at bringing more academies into our district, working with the superintendent and other people in the district to try to get more academies for students. One of the big things that's going now is cybersecurity, and we have some of those academies already in our middle school and high schools. I think we can expand on those academies as well. One of our strategic plans that we need to do is that we need to regain the confidence of the community that we are the best choice to educate the youth in our county. And we are the best choice to educate the youth in our county. We have many, many success stories, and we need to get that information out to our constituents and to our public and let them know exactly what we're doing. The county has a plan to recruit and retain teachers We have several after-school programs. I mentioned one, the Wide Reach program, which can increase a student's reading ability by one level and over a couple of months of after-school tutoring. And that Wide Read program is in 2 or 3 of our elementary schools, and we're looking to expand that into more of our schools as well. And I already said we increased the career academies. We are looking to increase the mentors, volunteers, and also mental health. We know that our students are going through quite a bit of mental health strain, especially after COVID. And coming back after that, we're still dealing with some issues there where we haven't fully recovered from it, but we do have a mental health program. Parental support. Every school in our county is labeled as a Title I school, so every school has a parent involvement budget, and they have a parent involvement plan. Every school has a parent involvement plan. We're a partnership with local, and I've already said, with local colleges, UWF, such as the financial literacy program, which is coming and working with our workforce. And also, we just want to be more community involved. But that's another one of our plan of actions. And like I said, I'm on the Children Trust Fund, and we are looking to where we can partner with the Escambia County school system to make sure those funds are going to our students. And so that's it in a nutshell. I wanted to get to the point where we have questions and answers for you. We have a microphone, but we might not need a microphone. I believe we might be able to hear you. So if you have questions for myself or Superintendent Leonard, this is the time to do it. So again, I want to say thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking your time and expressing your concern for the students and teachers and administrators in District 3. Questions? Mm-hmm.
People knocking on the doors to find out
Is it on?
why the kids is not in school, what's going on.
Okay, you got that?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. Did you have more to it that you wanted to add?
Yes, I think my husband do, but I just want to kind of know because it's not lighting up at all. It's getting worse out there. I'm in District 3 in Wedgewood.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had spoke to many people, in the sheriff department, and they said that only thing they can do is just take them back to the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just cannot accept that because they are our future, and it's got to be some type of way that we all can get together, maybe have a meeting out there or something like that, and try to find out what type of solution that we can get. We're not talking about one or two children. We're talking about many children walking day and night without any direction.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your question. We do still have social workers that assist us with the truancy of our students. We also have what we call navigators that will also visit the home, work with the parents, work with the student, find out if there's any barriers as to why they're not in attendance at school. We also, at times, I'll give you an example, just recently, I did receive a phone call from a grandparent that lived in a community very, very close to where you just said you live. And we did work with the sheriff's department along with our navigators to get those particular students in what we call truancy court. The issue with the truancy court is it doesn't necessarily punish the student, it punishes the parent. And sometimes our law enforcement partners, judges, truancy court, don't want to necessarily take the action that needs to be taken on the parent. What I would ask of you, if you run across a group of students, whether it be one or a group, I should say, if you would contact our office, we will get in touch with our social worker, our navigators, and our truancy court officer, a liaison, to be able to assist in getting those students back into school. One of the things that Mr. Williams talked about were some strategic goals. One is attendance. We were at just below 90%. Of course, that was coming right out of COVID. We have made strides. This is district-wide. It includes all schools, whether it be charter schools, our elementary, middle, and high schools, Acceleration Academy, all the different alternative programs. I am glad to say that it has increased up to last week to 92.3%. But if you looked at the data that Mr. Williams put on the board, and you saw some schools were at 96 and 97%, and others were in the 80s, you have to be in school to learn. So we want to help you. Call if you see that some kids are not where they're supposed to be, and we'll do everything we can to assist you. Thank you for that question, ma'am.
Is Mr. David Williams the person we need to contact? Because I did call Kevin Adams. You know, he's part of the board, and he contacted me by email, and I kept all the emails. I contacted someone in AIRY, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He said that he was going to do something concerning the situation. I did not receive anything. So what I did, I called Commissioner May, District 3, and spoke to the clerk. His clerk there. I did not receive any calls or returns at all. So this is why I'm here at the meeting today. I'm really concerned about the children. We are mentorship. We've been out there in the field for over 25 years, helping children all around Pensacola. And when we see children just walking, no direction, you know, and I think I did everything that I could. I did not contact David Williams, but I will definitely stay in contact. But it's getting worse, so we got to get something done.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
I guess you say, here she comes. I am concerned. I have spoken to District 3 board member, and I thank you tonight for hosting this. Not only should District 3 host this, but others should be. You have visited us, and I can honestly say thank you, because in past we had people to come in, but you have sit down with us. You've heard our voice. Since COVID has done a number for us at the Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy. Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy is different from any other school in the district. It was founded and started on the belief that even when they were mandating A, B, C, D, and F school, and if you go back and look at your tape, Mr. Leonard, this is before your time. I stood in the board's chamber and I said that Jacqueline Harris, I would hope one day, we chose not to get a grade, we get a rating. And our rating is based on our improvement. Well, you say maintaining, I don't know what that considers to be, but it's not just failing. We take our children from where they come from, and we want each child who attends Jacqueline Harris to make a great level higher than what he or she has come in. I stand here and I go to Tallahassee and I say this all the time. And I say this to the people here tonight. Those schools that are economically disadvantaged, we would never, and Mr. Interim Superintendent and Board Member Williams, we can make gains, but our students are so far behind. And with the number that COVID has done on us, I don't know how we can catch up. I sit there and I was looking at our director here, and we were just talking. We are working. We are doing everything that we can. But it's something about, and I don't care how many of us in here, those of us that are educators, when you get so far behind. I've been in education 53 years. Yeah? 53. Keith, you're sitting there. I was at Jim Allen. You're running in my room in Cary.
You are correct.
And times have changed. Again, and I say this, and I'm not going to be long. I talked to you about mental health. And I'm going to say this, and I want you to hear this, Mr. Board Member Williams. I've said, and we've said in there, mental health have to be looked at. I hear you all talked about navigators for middle schoolers. But what about us in elementary schools? We're having a crisis in elementary school. And if we had some of the resources that all of you all are putting in these middle and high schools, if we could just have a little bit of what you all doing in elementary, we could change things. I find it very offensive to know that, and we're paying money for counseling, and then when I go and talk to them about what did you say, they say, well, we can't get into it, it's confidentiality. You cannot counsel a child without getting into that family. And I hope the district, you all will hear me say that. Counseling, mental health counseling is not like it was a long time ago when a family got burned out or divorced. This is heavy-duty counseling we need now. Please listen to me. Please. Conflict resolution is another one that's dear to my heart. A lot of children are not taught how to deal with conflict. But we have been blessed and fortunate at the Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy through the Marva Collins methodology. We don't have a lot of the issues that you all are having because our children are being taught that, but in a different way. Thank you for listening. I want to say something else here. We have WBQP here. We have WRNE. School district, we spend money, Channel 3, and I love Channel 3. I love Sue. But there have to be other ways so we can get the words out in our community. Everybody don't watch, I'm sorry, Channel 3, but they listen to WRNE. They listen and they watch WPQ. If you keep doing the things the way we have been doing, we're going to get the same, and I'm going to say darn results. And I'm tired of getting the same results. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. I will vouch. I can imagine it is 53 years because I'm 60. So that means I would have been 7. I can vouch that I believe it has been 53 years for you being in education, because when I was in the 2nd grade in your classroom, I must have been 7 because I'm 60 now. That math adds up. You're absolutely correct. The trauma that the students of today, I guess I'll use the word suffer, is different than it was 53 years ago. The other thing I want to say to you, I would challenge individuals, DOE, whoever you want me to make that challenge to come to Escambia County and take a look at the improvement. You used a really good word, an improvement level that we have with the students. It is remarkable what our teachers and our school leaders do with our students. So many times when they come into kindergarten, well, we know it's about half of them, a little less than half really, are really prepared as an early learner. They're not prepared. But when you look and you see the growth, and specifically in District 3, when you see the growth that those students make from year to year to year, it is amazing. I would put us up against anybody in the state of Florida. Mr. Williams showed you the ESSA groups and the federal data that we use to make determinations. Well, as late as of today, I received an email about tweaking the ESSA data in preparation for what the state will be doing as it relates to ATSI, CSI, what other acronym you want to add there. So you'll get no debate from me. You are correct. And really what we got to do is keep doing what we've been doing. but not the same old thing. I get what you're saying. What I mean by I got to keep doing what we are together, probably more so than I've ever seen us. And I'm talking about our teachers. I'm talking about our administrators. I'm talking about our ESP staff. And I'm talking about this community. And when this community, I've seen it too many times, when this community gets to where it needs to be, after Ivan, 19 days that we were out of school, no power, no electricity, very difficult to get water, you saw people come together. So maybe we are at a crisis. I believe the city of Pensacola, the people of Escambia County, Florida, will come together, and you will see our trajectory begin to rise and get to where it needs to be. So thank you for your comments. Any other questions?
I was just had questions about the abbreviations. The ATS I was explained, but the CI, CSI, and TSI.
Yes.
I was just wondering.
That's how you each school is put in a category. And it's according to how your subgroups do. And I remember I pointed out those subgroups, they were,
No, I understand that. But I'm saying, what are they? Because you told me that it's additional target support.
Right.
ATS. So what is the CSI?
okay, CSI, hold on one second, I got it right here. The CSNI, that's the Comprehensive Support and Improvement. Comprehensive Support and Improvement. 6 of our schools are labeled as CSNI. And a school can be identified as CSNI 4 different ways. If they have an overall federal index below 41%, and then they can, if their graduation rate is at or below 67%, and then if the school receives a grade of a D or F. And the last way is have a federal index below 41% in the same subgroup for 6 consecutive years. So we have 6 schools that are in that situation right now, which could move to what we've labeled as a DA, differentiated accountability, which leads to what we call TOP, which is a turnaround option plan. And that's what Warrington Middle School went through. And we don't want to go to that. We want to do what we can to keep from, we want to circumvent that. Yes?
For those watching at home, and I'm the principal of Global Learning Academy. Thank you. For those watching at home and for those in the audience, could you or Mr. Leonard elaborate a little more on the impact of not counting learning gains this year so that when those official school grades come out, the public understands the effect of that?
Yeah, and that's very important. Thank you for saying that. There were several categories that usually in the past, historically, that you took into consideration. Lower quartile learning gains in math, learning gain in ELA. Those are not going to be counted. Now what they're counting now is just achievement scores. So in elementary school, there's only going to be three components, which they're going to be great. If those other, because like global, if you count the learning gains in global, maybe a C, maybe a low B score. But without those learning gains, it's going to knock them down because just like Ms. Lewis said, that we take kids where they're at and we try to move them, but if they come in so low, they can still have a learning gain because learning gains can be, you can have a learning gain and still be a 1 this year and be a learning gain next year, but you can have a learning gain within a 1 or 2 level. But that is not even considered. It's just like the achievement scores in the math, English, and science. It's just like kids go in and take a test, and they get a 60. Well, that's their grade. They don't consider that previously they used to make a 30 on a test. So that would be, the 30 points, they've increased 30 points. And so that used to count in the school's grades. And that's why, even when I was principal, I didn't, and I can say it now, I'm a school board, I didn't care much for school grades because it didn't tell you how hard the teachers and students, and the administration were working. But people take that C and D and F and they run with it and they think, oh, we're not doing well.
That's what they think.
Yeah.
Not teaching.
Yeah.
Something's going on wrong.
But we in public school take a phrase from my church. We take whosoever will, let them come. We take them. And we do the best we can with them. Learning grades is, not having learning gains is going to hurt our school grades, and it's going to affect several of our elementary schools. And we need to make sure we get that word out to the public that this grade is without learning gains, because if you added learning gains in, several of our schools will be knocking it out the park. Yeah, go ahead.
And we keep talking about when the grades come out. When the grades come out, it is for last school year, and it is November the 13th. So when the grades come out, it's for last school year. Another thing that not many people know, but you really need to hear, when the grades come out, I want you to think about back when you were in school. If a teacher told you, we're going to take this test, and when we get everybody's answers, 8% of you are going to make an F. 22% of you are going to make a D. We'll have 3% that make an A, and the remaining will make a B or a C. I don't know if I gave you all 4 categories or 5 categories there. But think as a teacher if you told your kids that. Well, that's what's going to happen when the grades come out. Not only did they not count learning gains, what they also did is they said, we're going to use the same percentages to equate to the number of A schools in elementary, B, C, D, and F. We'll use the same percentage from the year before in middle for A, B, C's, D's, and F, and we'll use the same scores or percentages in high school. I just wanted to be sure you knew that. First of all, the grades when they finally come out, will be for last year, and they use the same percentages from the year before for the number that will receive each letter grade. Oh, okay.
Mr. Leonard, but 2 more points for the public to understand are the fact that they are putting elementary, middle, and high together for those percentage blocks, and that we've begun this year without knowing what the goal is.
Thank you for making that comment, Lala. Appreciate it. Any other questions?
I'd like to know, what is the possibility of the school district using Triumph funds to set up some summer programs so that those gaps that are missing, because I understand during the school year, they've got something they have to teach to. But if some summer programs were set up, and we know where the gaps are where those kids are, then we could set up summer programs so that those kids could start learning those things that the teachers during the regular school year couldn't teach them.
Yes, sir.
Because I understand they got a level that they have curriculums they have to work with.
Right.
But over the summer, we could take other things, like if someone was low in math, we could have some math instructors to come in and work with those kids or language arts or whatever it might be, so that we could fill the gaps. Because this one thing I do know, if kids have gaps in their learning, I don't care what you put on top of it, it's going to fall through.
Yes, sir. We use some CARES Act funding, COVID money, I think is what Mr. Williams was calling it earlier. We use that for some after-school programs and for some summer programs here recently. Actually, today I had 2 separate phone calls about applications for Triumph grants. So we're working on preparing those Triumph grants. And Mr. Williams also brought up an after-school program that they're doing right here that has been funded through Children's Trust. And you'll see a lot of what they call OST programs, after-school training programs, through the Children's Trust. So you're going to see those, sir. Great question.
May I ask one final question, and I won't say anything else? Our legislatures, are they aware of what's going on in education here in Escambia County? I don't mean to put you on the hot seat, but I
He's
just
elected, so we'll let him answer that question.
Because we might need to meet with them so they can understand some of the issues that
Yes.
we're faced with.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Yes. Well, we've met with Michelle Salzman. I've spoken with Alex Andrade. I have not had a chance to meet with Senator Broxson as of yet to let him know our concerns, because one of my concerns was African American studies and history, making sure that we don't lose that as well. So we have made some contact, but not enough, Ms. Lewis. And you're right. I think we need to do more. And I'll tell you, one of the things that we heard from in Northwest Florida, is because about 75% of the schools in the state of Florida are below Gainesville. And so a lot of the things that we have to do up here is because of what they want to do in South Florida. And that's, we fight the politics of that. But I will reach out to Alex Andrade and also Michelle Salzman and give them our concerns. And because I wanted to talk to them about the Triumph, applying for Triumph money and funds as well, to see if there's something there that we can use in District 3 as well. So we need to update them, and we need to bring them in to have a meeting as well with us so they can hear our concerns. I appreciate that question.
When you said that, I think Mr. Miller was out when they did the congressional delegation meeting a week or so ago. That was a dog and pony show. It was just a show up, and everybody get 5 minutes to say something. They gave the people from Perdido a whole hour to speak about whether Perdido should become a
city or not.
And the rest, everyone else got about 5 minutes to go up, say something, and sit down.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier that we've got to do a better job of communicating the great things we're doing in our district, because there's other people that want to come in and start their own school district sometimes, and we're up against a reputation and putting forth the things that we're doing, that we're just as good or better. And I believe we are better because we service the whole community. But we've got to do a better job of getting the message out. Did you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, I am so confused the way they got it going on now. It's like the computers are teaching the children in school. The parents do not know what is going on. You go up there, you try to talk to these people, then you're labeled as a messed up, low-level black parent or whatever and stuff, but they pencil whoop the books, but they got them on the computer. They do not bring home no homework, period. And they got AIRY and all this stuff teaching the children. Then when they get ready to take the test, they don't pencil test. They test off of a computer where the parent cannot see or help them or none of that. All this stuff is hidden now. This stuff is crazy what they got going on in schools today. She is with the IEP. And ESC, you go up there, you can't get no answer. Everything is closed off. They tell you all kind of lies. You get the paper at home, and it's saying something different than from her testing and all of this. It's just so confusing.
Yeah. Did you get one of my cards when you came in?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Give me a call, and I would love to sit down and help you with that problem.
She's from Oak Crest Elementary, like you said. They need to shut that school down because what they got going on over there is ridiculous. I promise you, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, give me a call. I
will.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
We have a lot of community centers here. Do you have any tutors? We got a lot of children that in District 3 that cannot read. I mean, literally cannot read. They think if they say the, it, is, that's not reading.
Yes.
That's just pronouncing. And then when you read, you got to be able to comprehend what you have read. So I'm really I'm just like this young lady and Miss Jacqueline and Dr. Avant. It's just so confusing. I think that we can do much better than we are.
Okay.
You know, and I need to call you and try to set a time with you.
Yes, and I'll research that for you with the tutors. Some schools, I can't just tell right off the top of my head right now what schools have tutors. I know that some schools do it during the daytime. We have push out and pull in and pull out type situations at certain schools where they do tutor during the school day. And some schools do it, I know, before school as well.
Yeah, I apologize, but what about the community centers, like Wedgewood Community Center, Brownville, all these community centers? Do y'all have anyone that y'all can tutor the kids when they come from school? A lot of parents don't have transportation.
Yes, and
so
that's the
they're-
problem, yeah.
Yes, if they have a center, center there in their subdivision, then that would give them an opportunity to walk to the school to get tutoring for their children.
Okay.
So
But-
I would be calling you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm going to research the listing of the Children Trust. I believe there might be 2 or 3 programs in the Children Trust that are geared toward that tutoring program. But when you call me, I'll have that answer for you.
Okay, my name is Mrs. Sapp.
Mrs.
Sapp, S-A-P-P.
Okay.
The lady that's sitting over there, but he go to school here, and he's in IEP and ESE. Been there since he was in kindergarten, and he's not doing anything. To me, he's not, but he has perfect attendance because I make sure he gets to school every day.
Okay.
I
Thank
walk
you.
him to the bus stop and watch the bus pick him up,
Okay.
and I just want to know what else can I do because he's not happy here. Okay. And I'm just. And I can, help him with all of it. Like he said, algebra, he don't understand it,
Wait.
and he don't read. So, he's not.
I'll be glad to intervene if you give me a call, and I will call the principals or whoever I need to call. I'll do that for you.
Yeah, I'll be coming over here, but I'm not getting no satisfaction.
Are there any other questions? Anybody else? Yes, Ms. Dixon.
Don't have a question, but I just want to make a comment, and it's kind of to what the young lady said. I'm Pat Dixon, the director of Jacqueline Harris Preparatory Academy. But one of the things that I find the students in elementary school that cannot read or don't comprehend, that need the extra help in the tutoring, are the ones that don't come to school, that have the high absenteeism, as well as the ones that don't take advantage of the programs that you offer during the summer, these summer programs. Those are the ones that needs the extra help. They won't stay for the after-school tutoring, or they won't come to the free programs that you have in the summer where you do provide transportation and meals for them. So those are the ones that are missing the academic gains. They can't maintain their grades or have the low grades because they don't take advantage of the programs that you have, and they're not in attendance enough. So you can't teach a child if they're not there. So on behalf of the educators, I know that we do try and we offer the programs, but if the parents don't see the advantage of taking advantage of the program, they're going to continue to be low. They're going to continue to not be able to read. So we, as parents and community helpers, we have to do something to make sure that they're in attendance first, and then when they're in attendance, that they are getting the extra tutoring that we're offering as well.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Any other questions?
I just want to add. And just get a little solution to the problems that we are having in our communities, not only in Wedgewood. Well, my name is Charles Sapp. I'm the husband of during Sapp just spoken. What have happened? We have stopped listening. We have stopped focusing on the issue. I think, like you say, they had money coming in for ones to go out to the home to counsel the parents. If the parents is illiterate, if the parents don't sit down and talk to the kids or have the confidence to talk to the kids how important they are and how important school is, because they're the one that's going to run this country, we're going to continue to go down and down, down. So you say money is coming, wants to go out to the home to counsel the parents. I believe we'll see a big turnaround because the parents is the foundation of that child, and it be with them most of the day. And so we need more counseling to get out in the home, see what's going on in the home. We've been dealing with the communities ever since 1994. We've been foster parents, and we had 20-some kids in our home. Kids show up, all different background, all different races. Their grades level was F's and D's. Turn around with the right love and response to them to tell them how important they are. We watch these kids come up to A students. It's not that they can't learn, but you got to give them what they need. So we need to hold many, our election officials, accountable. We need to hold our parents accountable, because what is at jeopardy, what's at stake, is our next generation. Thank you.
I appreciate that. It's well said. Well said. Again, I just want to thank all of you for coming out. Again, I want to thank WRNE Radio for their broadcasting and their announcing this event, WBQP TV. Again, thank you very much for being here, and we will call on you again. All the administrators that came out tonight from District 3, I really appreciate you being here. I will be around. I was just speaking to Mr. Leonard. I'm not going to come before Christmas. I'll probably see you in January or February, because I know you're trying to wrap it up and get ready for the end of the school year. Thank you for your input. I plan on having this meeting again sometime next year. This is my first year. I was elected last November, and so the idea came to do this, and we will do it again, and we will continue to get the word out that public education is the best choice to educate the students in Escambia County. And I just want to let all the administrators know that you have my full support. You call me whenever you need something, or just if you just want to call and just complain or gripe or whatever. I'm there to listen. But I will answer you. I'll do the best I can to get an answer for you. Work just as hard as I can. I remember when I became an administrator, I always wanted to remember what was important to teachers. And so I based a lot of my administrative decisions on when I was a teacher. What was important to that teacher? Well, now that I'm in this position, I want to remember what was important to that administrator. And I want to make sure that my decisions are geared toward the students, the teachers, and the administrations, those that are on the front line that's doing the work every day. Again, thank you to Pensacola High School. Thank you, Mr. Leonard, for coming out and taking your time to share with us tonight. And take care. Thank y'all for coming out.
Thank
All right.
you, Mr. Williams.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard.
Thank you.